The massive training facility of the Galactic Academy loomed like a metallic fortress, its curved surfaces reflecting the distant starlight. Inside, rows of advanced equipment waited silently, designed to test the limits of biological endurance across multiple species. On this particular day, something different was about to happen. Park Jae-won, the lead alien instructor, adjusted his communication device and watched the entrance with a mixture of curiosity and professional skepticism. Humans were a new addition to the interstellar training program, and most believed they would fail spectacularly. 12 human recruits entered the training hall. They walked with a confident stride that seemed almost out of place among the sleek, advanced alien technology. Their uniforms were simple, dark gray with minimal markings, a stark contrast to the vibrant and complex attire of other galactic species. The room itself was a marvel of engineering. Gravity could be manipulated with a simple neural command. Atmospheric conditions could shift from Arctic freeze to desert heat in milliseconds. Holographic obstacles could materialize and disappear, creating training scenarios that would break most biological beings. Kim Min, a compact and muscular recruit, stood at the front of the group. His eyes constantly scanned the environment, a habit learned from years of survival training on Earth. Behind him, other recruits maintained a disciplined formation, a testament to their military background. The alien instructors had designed this training module to be mathematically impossible. Previous species had attempted these challenges and failed within minutes. Some had been permanently injured. Others had simply disappeared, their biological systems unable to withstand the extreme conditions. Park Jae-won pressed a holographic interface. A soft blue light began to pulse, signaling the start of the first challenge. Gravitational fields started to fluctuate, creating waves of intense pressure that would crush most organic structures. The human recruits didn't move. They watched, calculated, and waited. Most alien species would have immediately tried to resist or escape. Humans were different. They observed, analyzed, and adapted. This was a skill born from surviving on Earth, a planet so harsh that it had been classified as a death world by galactic researchers. The gravity intensified. Waves of pressure rolled across the training floor, creating ripples that would have torn apart muscular structures of other species. Bones would typically snap. Nervous systems would collapse. But the humans stood firm. Kim Min took a small step forward. His muscles weren't just muscles. They were adaptive systems developed through generations of survival. Where other species saw a challenge, humans saw an opportunity to learn and overcome. The alien instructors began to record data. Their sophisticated monitoring systems tracked every microscopic change in the human recruits' physiological responses. Something unexpected was happening. Instead of breaking, the humans were adjusting. Their bodies were making micro-movements, redistributing weight, and finding balance in an environment designed to be unbalanced. Kim Min's posture shifted slightly, absorbing the gravitational waves like a living shock absorber. Park Jae-won's communication device began to flash with alert signals. The data streaming from the human recruits didn't match any previous biological records. Their nervous systems were responding in ways that defied current scientific understanding. One by one, the human recruits started to move. Not frantically, not in panic, but with a calculated precision that suggested they were not just surviving the challenge, but understanding it. The gravity continued to fluctuate. Waves that would have liquefied other species crashed against the human recruits, but they remained, watching, learning, adapting. Something fundamental was happening in that training hall. The Galactic Academy was about to discover that humans were not just another species to be studied. They were a force of nature waiting to be understood. Park Jae-won realized with a mixture of professional excitement and personal fear that everything they knew about biological limitations was about to change. The training chamber transformed, revealing a complex network of interconnected platforms suspended in a holographic void. Each platform shifted randomly, creating a three-dimensional maze that would challenge spatial perception and physical coordination. Kim Min stepped forward. First, where other species might hesitate, he analyzed the environment with quick, precise movements. His eyes tracked the platform's unpredictable patterns, calculating potential paths in milliseconds. The alien instructors watched through advanced monitoring systems. Their previous data suggested no biological entity could navigate this challenge. The platforms changed position every 0.3 seconds, with gravitational fields that could instantly crush or launch a participant into the void. Huang Xiok, another human recruit, began to move. His body wasn't just moving, it was communicating with the environment. Each step was a calculated risk, each jump a mathematical equation solved in real time. The platforms that seemed impossible to cross became stepping stones under his feet. Most alien species had specific movement patterns. Humans were different. They didn't just move, they improvised. Whereas Xyloxian would calculate a single path, humans created multiple options simultaneously. The chamber's temperature began to drop. -50 degrees Celsius materialized instantly. Frost formed on the holographic platforms. Any other species would have immediately frozen, their muscles locking up, their nervous systems shutting down. The human recruits adjusted their breathing. Their body temperature remained stable. Layers of genetic adaptation developed over thousands of years of surviving Earth's extreme environments kicked into action. Kim Min reached a particularly unstable platform. It began to disintegrate the moment his foot touched its surface. Instead of falling, he used the platform's destruction as a launching point. His movement was fluid, almost like a dance with the environment. Alien researchers began to panic. Their carefully designed challenge was being transformed into something else entirely. The humans weren't just completing the challenge. They were rewriting the understanding of biological mobility. One platform suddenly dropped into a zero-gravity field. Most species would have been instantly thrown into chaos. The human recruits synchronized their movements, using each other's body positions to maintain balance and momentum. Park Jae-won, watching from the control room, realized something profound was happening. These weren't just physical movements. This was a demonstration of evolutionary adaptation that defied current scientific understanding. The challenge continued. Platforms disappeared. Gravity shifted. Temperature fluctuated between extreme cold and intense heat. Each change was designed to break biological systems, but the humans adapted. Huang Xiok moved like water flowing between impossible spaces. Where other recruits would have rigid movements, he transformed his body into a living calculation. Each muscle, each nerve ending worked together, creating a symphony of survival. The alien instructors' monitoring systems began to overheat. The data streaming from the human recruits didn't match any known biological response patterns. They were seeing something unprecedented, a species that didn't just survive challenges, but transformed them. Kim Min reached the final platform. It was designed to be a death trap, a holographic surface that would collapse the moment any weight touched it. He didn't just cross it. He danced across it, his movements so light and precise that the platform remained stable. When the challenge ended, 11 of the 12 human recruits had completed the impossible course. Their breathing was steady. Their bodies showed minimal stress response. They looked like they had just completed a morning workout, not survived a challenge designed to destroy biological entities. Park Jae-won's communication device pinged with urgent messages. Research teams across the galaxy wanted immediate data. Something extraordinary had happened in this training chamber. The humans had not just survived, they had redefined the concept of survival. As the recruits exited the chamber, Kim Min looked back. For a moment, the holographic environment seemed to acknowledge their presence. A silent recognition of a species that understood challenge was just another word for opportunity. The initial challenge was complete, but this was just the beginning of humanity's demonstration of what true adaptation meant. The research facility hummed with nervous energy. Screens flickered with data streams that made no sense to the alien scientists. They had designed a neurological challenge that had previously destroyed 13 different advanced species' mental capabilities. Li Day stood at the center of a massive holographic chamber, Thousands of neural connectors surrounded him, each capable of sending complex sensory information that would typically overload a biological brain within seconds. The challenge was simple: survive and process the information. Most species could handle maybe 3 simultaneous neural streams. Humans were about to prove something different entirely. The first wave of information hit. Imagine hearing 1,000 languages simultaneously, while solving quantum mathematical equations and experiencing multiple physical sensations from different planets. It was designed to be impossible. Li Day closed his eyes. His brain wasn't just processing, it was reorganizing information faster than the most advanced quantum computers. Neural pathways that other species considered fixed became flexible. Networks of adaptive intelligence. Alien researchers watched in growing disbelief. Li Day's brain activity showed something unprecedented. Where other species would have collapsed, his neural networks were creating new connection patterns in real time. The challenge intensified. Temperature readings from distant star systems, mixed with complex mathematical equations. Emotional data from multiple alien civilizations crashed against geological information from unexplored planets. It was a tsunami of information designed to destroy mental comprehension. But humans didn't break. They adapted. Li Day's hands moved slightly, unconsciously mapping the incoming information. His brain was treating this overwhelming assault like a complex puzzle to be solved. Each incoming stream became a piece of a larger understanding. The alien lead researcher, Dr. Kirill, adjusted her monitoring equipment. Something impossible was happening. The human recruit wasn't just surviving the neural challenge. He was learning from it. Streams of information that would have driven other species into permanent mental shutdown became a language for Li Day. His brain was creating connections that defied current scientific understanding of neural processing. 12 minutes passed. Most species would have been reduced to mental debris within 30 seconds. Li Day remained calm, his breathing steady, his brain activity showing levels of complexity that seemed more like advanced computer networks than biological systems. The challenge was designed to break mental limitations. Instead, it was revealing humanity's true potential. Suddenly, the neural streams changed. Now they included emotional data from civilizations that had existed thousands of years ago. Complex technological information mixed with ancient philosophical concepts. It was a test that would crush any known intelligence. Li Day smiled, a small, almost imperceptible gesture that made the alien researchers more nervous than any physical reaction. His brain wasn't just processing information, it was understanding it, creating meaning where others would find only chaos. The monitoring systems began to overheat. The data streaming from Li Day's brain didn't match any known biological or technological processing model. He was creating something new, a way of understanding that merged human adaptability with pure intellectual potential. 20 minutes passed, then 30. The neural challenge continued, each moment increasing in complexity. Where other species would have been reduced to mental fragments, Li Day remained a beacon of focused intelligence. His brain was doing something extraordinary. It was treating this overwhelming assault of information as a learning opportunity. The alien researchers realized they were witnessing something historic. This wasn't just about surviving a challenge. This was about demonstrating a form of intelligence that existed beyond known scientific understanding. As the final moments of the challenge approached, Li Day opened his eyes. The holographic chamber around him seemed to pause, as if the very technology recognized something significant had just occurred. He hadn't just survived the impossible neural challenge. He had transformed it. The room fell silent. Screens filled with incomprehensible data. Li Day stood perfectly still, his brain still processing the massive amount of information he had just experienced. Humanity had just shown the galaxy that limitations were nothing more than a failure of imagination. The communication network of the Galactic Council erupted with unprecedented data. Screens across multiple star systems displayed recordings of human performance, creating a wave of shock and disbelief that spread faster than light-speed transmissions. Kim Jun, the diplomatic, representative, stood before the grand assembly of alien species. His presence alone was a statement, calm, confident, representing a civilization that had just shattered every known understanding of biological potential. Massive holographic displays showed the human training challenges. Where other species saw failure, humans had demonstrated extraordinary adaptation. The recordings played repeatedly, each replay revealing new layers of human capability that defied scientific explanation. The Quantum Collective, a group of advanced technological species, struggled to process the information. Their most sophisticated analysis systems couldn't comprehend how humans had transformed impossible challenges into routine experiences. Representatives from 17 different star systems watched in growing unease. Humans weren't just another species to be categorized. They were something entirely different. A biological system that treated challenges as opportunities for growth. Kim Jun didn't speak dramatically. His presentation was simple, direct, filled with raw data that spoke louder than any emotional argument. Each slide demonstrated how human recruits had not just survived, but fundamentally reimagined what survival meant. The gravitational challenges that had destroyed previous species became simple warm-up exercises for humans. Neurological tests, designed to crush mental capabilities, became learning experiences. Physical limitations were treated like temporary obstacles to be overcome. Alien scientists began reviewing the data obsessively. Their previous research seemed suddenly obsolete. Humans had demonstrated a level of adaptive intelligence that challenged everything they thought they knew about biological potential. Communication channels across the galaxy began to change. Where humans were previously considered a minor, underdeveloped species, they were now being discussed as a potential game-changing civilization. The Synaptic Research Council called an emergency session. Their most advanced researchers worked continuously, trying to understand the human phenomenon. How could a species from a single planet demonstrate such extraordinary capabilities? Kim Jun's presentation continued. Simple graphs showed human adaptability rates that made other species' evolutionary progress look like mathematical errors. Where other civilizations took millions of years to develop minimal adaptations, humans seemed to transform within generations. Diplomatic channels that had previously ignored human representatives now requested immediate meetings. Military strategists began reconstructing potential conflict scenarios, realizing that humans would approach challenges in ways no one could predict. The galactic communication networks buzzed with a new term, human factor, a concept that suggested biological adaptation could be more powerful than technological advancement. Recordings of human training challenges became mandatory study material across multiple educational systems. Species that had previously considered humans primitive now watched with a mixture of fear and respect. Kim Jun finished his presentation with a simple statement. Adaptation is not just survival. It's evolution in real time. The assembly hall remained silent. The implications were profound. Humans weren't just another species to be studied. They were a fundamental shift in understanding biological potential. Research teams began investigating human history. They discovered a planet so harsh, so challenging, that it had created a species capable of transforming obstacles into opportunities. Earth wasn't just a planet, it was a training ground for extraordinary adaptation. Diplomatic protocols began to change. Species that had previously ignored human representatives now requested collaborative research. Military strategists rewrote potential conflict scenarios, understanding that humans would approach challenges in completely unpredictable ways. The Quantum Collective's lead researcher made a statement that would be remembered for generations. Humans are not just a species. They are a living demonstration that biological potential is limited only by imagination. As the galactic recognition spread, one thing became clear. Humanity had arrived, not with weapons or grand declarations, but with a simple demonstration of what true adaptation meant. The galaxy was about to change, and humans would be the catalyst. The training facility that once challenged species now became a monument to human potential. Where previous challenges destroyed civilizations, Humans transformed them into learning experiences. Park Min-seok, the youngest human instructor, stood before a new generation of galactic recruits. His presence alone spoke volumes about the transformation that had occurred. Behind him, holographic displays showed humanity's journey from a single planetary species to an adaptive force across the universe. Alien species now requested human training protocols. What was once a scientific curiosity had become a critical educational resource. Military academies, research institutions, and exploration teams sought human expertise in adaptation and survival. The first wave of human instructors spread across multiple star systems. They didn't come with weapons or conquest plans. They arrived with knowledge, an understanding of how to transform challenges into opportunities. Lee Day, now a senior research coordinator, developed training modules that redefined biological potential. His neural mapping techniques became standard across advanced civilizations. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw potential pathways for growth. The Synaptic Research Council underwent a complete restructuring. Human researchers were no longer considered junior participants but lead investigators. Their ability to connect seemingly unrelated information created breakthrough technologies that transformed multiple scientific fields. Diplomatic channels expanded. Humans weren't just another species to be negotiated with. They became critical problem solvers for complex interstellar challenges. Their adaptive thinking solved conflicts that had existed for centuries. Training facilities across the galaxy began implementing human adaptation protocols. These were not just physical training methods, but comprehensive approaches to understanding biological potential. Species that had been stagnant for generations suddenly found new evolutionary pathways. Kim Jun's early presentations became historical documents. What was once considered radical thinking was now standard scientific understanding. Humans had fundamentally changed how civilizations understood adaptation, intelligence, and survival. The transformation wasn't just external. Human society itself changed. No longer confined to a single planet, they became a bridge between different civilizations. Their understanding of survival translated into a unique form of interstellar diplomacy. Research teams discovered that human adaptability was more than a biological trait. It was a philosophical approach to existence. Challenges were not obstacles but opportunities for growth and understanding. Alien species that had previously viewed humans with suspicion now sought collaboration. Human researchers worked alongside advanced technological civilizations, bringing a unique perspective that transformed scientific understanding. The concept of impossible began to lose meaning. Challenges that had stopped entire civilizations became starting points for human investigation. Their approach was simple. Every limitation was just an undiscovered opportunity. Medical technologies transformed. Human understanding of neural plasticity and biological adaptation created treatment protocols that saved millions of lives across multiple species. What was once considered genetic limitation became a pathway for healing. Exploration teams composed of multiple species now included human coordinators. Their ability to understand and adapt to unknown environments made them critical members of any scientific expedition. The galaxy watched as humanity demonstrated that true potential was not about technological advancement, but about the ability to transform, learn, and grow. Park Min-seok looked at the new recruits, a mixture of human and alien species. They represented something new, a collaborative approach to understanding existence that transcended biological limitations. Adaptation is not about survival, he told them. It's about understanding that every challenge is an opportunity to become something more. The training facility hummed with potential. Outside, stars continued their ancient dance, witnessing a transformation that would change the understanding of life itself. Humanity had arrived, not as conquerors, not as a superior species, but as living proof that potential was limited only by imagination. The transformation was complete, but the journey was just beginning.